Okay, so in this video we're now going to talk about dating as far as years are concerned. So for our way that we date, obviously we say that this is the year 2021. Well, what does that number mean? What it means is that every civilization picks an incredibly important historical event, not every civilization, but most, and they date their years either before that event or after that event. In the Western world, where we live, in Western civilization, Christianity has come to dominate for the last 2,000 years. So for the Western world, the way by which they date is events before the arrival of Christ and then after the arrival of Christ, which we all know that AD stands for Anno Domini. To give you an example of a fictitious one, think about Star Wars. In Star Wars, their dating system is BBY and ABY. Now, even if you're unfamiliar with Star Wars, you should know that there's at least a plot line of blowing up something called the Death Star. It's called the Battle of Yavin. And it is so important within the Star Wars universe, a made-up universe, that that's how they dated. Years before that battle and years after. And you can think about it in terms of a timeline of being negative numbers, and then, of course, positive numbers, and so forth and so on. So let's talk about the ways in which the Romans would have kept their dates. It is two ways. And as always, there's going to be 3 embedded items within this video that will help you, obviously, by getting a free 100. The way number 1 that they would be able to date is by saying the particular year that the consuls ruled. Consuls during the Roman Republic were essentially co-executives, like co-presidents, and they were elected one time for 1 year. And so, in a particular year, what they would do is that they would put the consuls, their names, in the ablative case, in a construction known as the ablative absolute, and in that way, they would know that it is in a particular year. For example, if I were to say, Bibulo, it's the ablative, with Bibulus, and with Caesar as the consuls, something went down. And in this way then, they would know, yes, that was the year with Bibulus and Caesar being the consuls. That was, okay, I know when that was. Now the problem here is that the only very educated would be able to obviously identify a particular year by this. For example, if I were to say that my father was born in the first year of the Eisenhower administration, the vast majority of people would have no idea whatsoever when that was. Or if I were to say that I was born in the second year of the Carter administration, again, people are absolutely clueless. Like, when would that be? Eisenhower and Carter being our presidents. But just to explain, the first year of the Eisenhower administration was 1953. And the second year of the Carter administration, 1978. And so you can see that there are some problems with the way by which they would obviously date. Now I can tell you, because I am familiar with this particular year in which Bibulus and Caesar were the consuls, with Bibulus and with Caesar as the consuls, this is the year 59 BC or BCE. This has become popular as of recent because, of course, not everybody ascribes to Christianity. And so instead of before Christ, before the Common Era. And this is the first item that you'll put down for your easy quiz embedded. BCE. All caps, 3 letters. Now, let's consider the second way by which the Romans could express their year. First is, like I said, with the consuls. Secondly, they take their important event. And their important event is the founding of the city. And they use this phrase, ab urbe condita, from the city having been founded, and they just count from that year. Now, they abbreviate it AUC. So their year 1 AUC is going to become the equivalency of our year 753 BCE. And the way then that you can obviously figure it out from our dating system, BCE and CE or BC AD, and their dating system, AUE, is the following. If the year is in question a BC year, you subtract it from the number 754. And that gives you the year AUC. So let's take the assassination of Julius Caesar. He was assassinated in the year 44 BC for us. But to the Romans, they wouldn't have considered that 44 BC. Instead, they would have considered that to be 4 minus 4, 5 minus 4. Caesar was assassinated in the Roman mind in the year 710 AUC. If the year in question, and remember this is either BC or BCE, if the year in question was AD, or instead sometimes people use CE for Common Era, before Common Era, then what you will do is that you will add that number to 753 to get your AUC. So, if we talk about, let's say, I don't know, how about, I was going to pick a crazy date, but I don't know. Let's go with the crowning of Charlemagne as Holy Roman Emperor on Christmas Day, 800 AD. So when did that happen, AUC? In the year 1553 AUC, Charlemagne was crowned. If instead, let's say, we wanted to go with the year of my birth, then you would add that together, in which it would become 11, 13, 7. I was born in the year 2731 AUC. And so that's the way by which, of course, they would date the years. First and foremost, they would use the consuls, and that's your second word. Consul. The problem is people might not know, especially people who are not as educated as others in the ancient world. Like I said, if I tell you my father's born in the first year of the Eisenhower administration, almost all of my students, including you, probably eyes glaze over. But that's the most common way, with Bibulus and with Caesar being the consuls. And again, consul, that's your second word that you put in. And the other way is by, again, what we do, taking a significant date for the Romans from the city having been founded. We would say from the city's founding, AUC. And that is the way by which they would date their years. 1 AUC for the Romans is for us 753 BC, because we have different events that are, of course, of different importance to us. And that's your third item. AUC without any dots, just the 3 letters, AUC, to earn you that free 100. So that's how they would date the years. Thanks for watching.